Have you ever said yes to something only to realize that once you've said it, that it's pulled you away from something that really mattered to you, something you really cared about, something that you were really excited for? I know it's one of those things where you're saying yes to actually bring more joy into your life, but actually, when you're saying yes, you're actually turning around and saying no to something else. Welcome back to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. I'm Sanj, and as always, I'm here to help you start to master your mindset so you can wake up living a life where you are really excited, enthusiastic, and energized to wake up to it every single day. If you get something from this episode, please let me know your biggest takeaway in the comments. Today, we're diving into a topic that can completely transform the way you make decisions in the future and how you prioritize your life. Stephen Covey famously said, "You have to decide what your highest priorities are and have the courage, pleasantly smiling, non-apologetically, to say no to other things." Because every time you say yes to one thing, you're saying no to something else. But how often do you ever take the time, you step back and think about what that no may be, what you're saying no to? You always feel like saying no is a bad word, but actually it's not a bad word. It's a word that's necessary. It's necessary for you to live the life you want, be the person you want, and actually have everything that you want. So today I'm going to be breaking down this idea of how saying yes can sometimes derail your life and your goals. So if you're tired of feeling that you're stretched too thin, you're tired of feeling overwhelmed and that you're stuck in a cycle of just too much, then this episode is for you. And so let's start with the simple truth. We are wired for instant gratification. Instant gratification, that feeling that you get when you choose the junk food, you choose the sweets over the salad. The instant gratification you get from sitting in the warm familiarity of your home rather than going out on that cold day for a run. Your brain is hardwired to focus on the present moment, and in that present moment you want things now. Whether it's a quick yes to a favor, whether it's sitting in front of Netflix, whether it's you want that piece of chocolate, and you say yes because in that moment it feels good. But you rarely pause. You don't pause to think about the ripple effect of your decision. You don't pause to think, actually, my yes is causing me to say no to something else. And it happens because you just get caught in this short-term comfort trap. Because when you say yes, it feels good right now because it avoids confrontation. It makes other people happy. It gives you a sense of accomplishment. It makes you feel like, yeah, you're doing something and you're enjoying something right now because you're not thinking about what it's saying no to in the future. You say yes and you struggle to see the long-term consequences of your actions because you overestimate your capacity. You think you can handle it all, but in reality, every yes actually adds to your mental and your emotional load. And you pause, and you don't pause to think about the effects of your decision because in that moment when you're saying yes, you've got FOMO. You're afraid of what will happen if you say no. Will you miss an opportunity? Will you disappoint someone? Will you not get that chocolate bar? When you start ignoring long-term consequences and the impact that you saying yes has on it, it causes you to have burnout because you're overcommitting yourself to things which you know in your mind at the time it sounds good, but you will not actually be able to sustain it. You actually miss opportunities because when you're saying yes to the small, unimportant things, you're actually saying no to your big goals, your big dreams, the big doors that are going to open for you. And you're overcommitting. It's going to leave you exhausted, irritable, and just too distracted to give quality time to those who really want it and actually you want to give it to. Like, just for example, imagine saying yes to an extra project at work. So in the short term, it may seem like a good move. But fast forward a month, when you're working late nights, when you're missing family dinners, when you're neglecting your health, that quick yes, it doesn't seem as harmless as you initially thought. But when you say yes, it can it's great in the moment. But the problem is it can derail your future goals, because you need to shift your perspective. Because every yes you say today is an investment of your time and your energy, and you only have so much of that to give. So when you say yes to things that don't align with your priorities, that are doing things you don't value, you're actually essentially saying no to the things that matter most to you. And this is a problem because your energy is finite. So saying yes to too much actually leaves you feeling drained, which means that you're not showing up as the best version of yourself. You're not showing up in those times that matter because you're too exhausted, you're too depleted from doing all the other small, insignificant things. Your time is limited. Your time is your most valuable currency that you have. Yet people are less willing to actually give their money than their time. So there are only 24 hours a day. So every yes means less time for what truly matters to you: your family, your health, your goals, your aspirations. You want to have that dream life. You saying yes to playing football 3 times a week means it takes you out away from your family. You want to say you want to have a six pack for summer. You want to have that beach body. You saying yes to going out to restaurants 3-4 times a week is going to actually take up your time for you actually doing that energy, eating those healthy meals. Your small choices add up. By saying yes to something small today, it may not seem like a big deal, but over time, those small yeses, they compound into a life that just feels out of alignment with your goals. For example, if your goal is to spend more quality time with your kids, but as I said, your friends ask you to plan a big event or to go away for a weekend, you say yes without thinking, then that's a whole weekend that you're spent doing something that you didn't need to be doing. That's time you're missing out with on your kids. You're caught up doing things that you don't want to do, and that time with your kids is gone. You're never getting it back. Your time is limited. So that's how, when you're saying yes to one thing, you need to think about what you're saying no to. You need to start considering the consequences of today's actions in your future. Pause before you say yes, because a quick yes is often a reflex. It's just what you're used to saying, just to keep the peace, to keep everyone happy, to make sure that everyone gets what they want. And then you think about the no. You think about, actually, I'm not that happy with it. I don't feel that excited about to go to this party. And then afterwards, you end up letting someone down more in the future after you've said yes than if you said no to start with. So when someone asks you for something, don't respond immediately. Yeah, think about it. Get back to them. Yeah, it gives you time to evaluate whether it aligns with your priorities. I heard a quote saying, if it's not a hell yeah, then it's a hell no. So if you don't want to do something, you're thinking about it, then maybe you don't want to do it that much at all. The next thing is, when you're actually thinking about what you want to do, whether you should do something, think about your priorities. When you know what matters most to you, it's easier to filter out what doesn't. So when you know what your priorities are, you know whether that night out is going to be getting you towards your goal or further from it. Take time to write down your priorities for the week. I love this. Think about your top 3 priorities for the week and keep them visible on your desk, on your phone, on your fridge, wherever. So that every time that you're asked to commit to something, ask yourself, does this align with this week's priorities? These priorities don't have to be long term. It could just be 1 week at a time. Just what's your priority this week? The third thing is, think long term, because decisions that feel good in the moment can have negative long term consequences. Think of it. What's it going to cost you in is it going to cost you in terms of time, in terms of energy, focus? Will you regret the decision in a month? Will you be happy you made it? When you think, actually, it's something I could do without, in a month, if you're not going to care about it that much, why do you care so much about it now? Finally, practice saying no with grace, because it doesn't have to be, we associate no as a bad word, but it doesn't have to feel harsh. It doesn't have to feel awkward. It's about protecting your time, your energy, your happiness. So learn to say no politely. I'd love to help, but I'm at capacity right now. That sounds great, but I've got other commitments. Thanks for thinking of me. I'll have to pass this time, maybe next time. You can do it with style, with grace, so as not to hurt the other person's feelings. But when you start saying no to the wrong things that don't serve your goals, incredible things happen in your life. You free up more time to focus on what truly matters, your health, your relationships, your dreams. You begin to focus more, because without the clutter of overcommitment, without spreading yourself so thin, you can give your full attention to what's important to you. And then you're living in alignment with your priorities, and it feels amazing. So you're going to feel happier. When you set clear boundaries and say no, you actually increase your happiness and boost your productivity. Imagine saying no to unnecessary things, that maybe that meeting at work, but instead you use that time to actually work on a side hustle, or maybe you use it to create something for your job which will actually help you improve what you're doing. Yeah, that's the power of intentional choices. So what's one thing that you said yes to recently that you may need to reconsider? What would saying no to that open up for you? Would it give you more time, energy, happiness? Remember, every yes is a no to something else. So choose wisely, because when you're protecting your time, your energy, you actually create space for what truly matters in your life. Something that means a lot to you. As always, thank you for tuning in to Master Your Mindset, Master Your Life. If today's episode resonated with you, share it with someone who actually needs to start saying no more in their life. And as always, keep thriving, keep mastering your mindset so you can master your life. Thank you.